Hello and welcome to part 6 of our Google Apps Google Drive video tutorial series. This will be the final installment of the series here that has been presented by SmartHR. Again, I am Alex Carlson. In part 5 of this series, we discussed Desktop Drive, or Drive for the Desktop, a local application, local version of Drive that you could use. We discussed how to install that and how to use it. In the final part of the series, we're going to talk about a few of those third-party Drive apps that we've been hearing about through the series here, how we can install those and what they can be used for, as well as how updates are tracked within Google Drive, revision tracking, things like that. Things we've talked about earlier on in the series, but that we'll do a quick review of in the last part here. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. We will go ahead and cover using Drive apps. Again, Drive has an extensive list of those third-party applications that it is compatible with and can be integrated with. These will allow for the creation of a variety of different file types and things like that. Things from video editing applications, document signing projects, or document signing applications, project management applications. The list goes on, and we'll see how we can find some of those and access them. And we'll go step by step through the process, creating or installing one of those third-party apps by clicking the New button, going to the More tab, selecting to connect more apps, and select Apps. Okay, so let's hop over to My Drive, and we'll get into finding and installing some of these apps. Again, we'll start by clicking the New button, going to the More tab, further scrolling down to the Connect More Apps option. This is going to bring us to the Connect Apps to Drive window, and here you start to understand just how extensive that list of third-party applications that can be used is. These can be filtered here using this drop-down filter menu here, things like by Google, for your domain, business, education, entertainment, games. The list goes on and on. Or you can search for specific apps using the search bar. And once you find an app that you want to use, simply click the Connect button. And it'll prompt you and say that MindMup has connected to Google Drive. Go ahead and click OK. Now if we go down here into our New button and look at our More, we see MindMup as a file type that we can create. And again, the last thing I want to cover for this series is something we briefly discussed before, being the activity stream, tracking updates, revisions that have occurred to any files or folders that are in your drive. This can be accessed by selecting the desired file and going to the View Details button in the upper right corner, also known as the Activity Stream button. Clicking that, and that will give us access to our revision history. So things like permissions being changed, items being moved, items being shared, and the like. Again, clicking the Details tab will provide us with extensive information on the file, things like who the file has been shared with, the file type, size, use of storage, location, who the owner was, when it was last modified. It allows to add a description to the file and things like that. So I think that about wraps up part 6 here. We talked a little bit about excuse me, using those third-party apps that can be connected to Google Drive. We talked about how to find and install those, as well as accessing the activity stream again and details of specific files in order to get a little more detailed report of what changes have been going on in our drive. So that's going to conclude our Google Drive video tutorial series presented by SmartHR. Again, my name is Alex Carlson. I hope that you find this information helpful, and thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.